Aion's been out in Asia for quite a while now, and we're slowly moving towards release in the West. How do you think that, or how do you hope that Western players will react to Aion compared to how the Asian market?
Despite the cultural difference between South Korea, the Asia, and the Western gamers, we have included many contents into the game that will satisfy the Western gamers, and therefore we think that it will make our gamers in the West very happy.
Has it been difficult to design for both the Eastern and Western market at the same time?
Yes, the basic differences among the cultural differences were actually quite hard to gap. But nevertheless, the contents that we have created, we have made use of not only the contents that we have, not only information that we have in the West, in the East, but also we have collaborated with our Western studios, and therefore we have lots of contents that harmonize both Eastern and Western cultures, and therefore it will both satisfy our users in West, including Europe.
Can you give a proper example of something in the game that you've put in to please a Western audience?
One of the characteristics of Western gamers in comparison to Korean gamers is that they prefer soloing playing in comparison to Korean gamers who actually prefer playing in parties or legions, all very much together. And therefore the structure of the levels of the zones in the game the structures were created so that the Western gamers could play soloing game very naturally and without any discomfort. I add a little more to that, not just solo playing and party playing, but it's a Korean culture that gamers really like to come together all, like they like when it's really crowded. And on the other hand, Western gamers prefer places that are not too crowded. They like to play the game by themselves and enjoy more the environment by themselves. So they had to fit in both kind of, to satisfy both kind of players, they had to input both kind of zone structures into the game.
Some of the criticism that's been heard since the beta started here in the West are things like around level 20, people start to experience a certain grind. The zones can be quite linear. Almost like World of Warcraft when they introduced a more streamlined compared to what had gone before, like Aion taking that concept to making a modern version of the same process they did. Is that something that the Eastern market is happy with, perfectly happy with, or do you see that changing both here and in the East?
It is actually a very interesting question because there are some Korean gamers who have been giving us some feedback saying that there are too many quests in Aion to play. Actually, they were saying we want a little more simple life, trying to enjoy the game with a little more peace rather than having to follow all these orders and having to find all these kind of different things. Nevertheless, what the development team is doing, as we were saying before, we wanted to satisfy both Eastern and Western gamers. So what we did for Korea is we divided quests from campaigns. So the campaigns is more based on the stories of the game, and it follows a grand line of the stories. And quests are more like simple quests that you can follow in order to level up. And so Korean gamers who don't prefer to do much of a quest, they can just follow the campaigns and then just skip the quest and just do some hunting, some leveling up by themselves. On the other hand, for the North American and European gamers who prefer a lot of storytelling and a lot of quests, we've added a lot of contents in this, especially in this update with the 1.5 version that's coming up. And I'm pretty sure that if you try it, you'll see how busy they'll be trying to do all the quests and understanding all this.
Was this something that you took into consideration as well when it came to the end game, the PvP end game of Aion, to somehow bring that together with not enough quests, not enough quests versus too many quests?
I don't think that the objective of the quest is to bring about an end game content or anything like that. We think that it's more like the role of the quest is actually to lead the gamers to the end content. And what I think about the end content, my personal thought about it, is interaction between all kind of players, meaning interaction between PvE players and PvP players. And from their interaction, we'll probably get a new kind of game pattern or gameplay. And that is where we'll have an end content, and we'll probably have some new kind of game playing method.
Thank you very much for your time.